Hello everybody, this is Jay Seville, the team leader of the JustNewListings.com team at Wilmington Real Estate for You and owner of JustNewListings.com Realty in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. So there's no confusion, Wilmington, North Carolina is my home. I have a surfboard on my van when I show property every other day to prove it. The new numbers have come out for Wilmington, usually about the 4th of the month. The new numbers are released of the previous month's market data, everything from pendings to solds to prices to inventory days on the market, etc. And for real estate geeks like me, it's very exciting to dive into the new numbers and inform the consumers so that you can win at real estate. Sort of the goal for buyer agents like me is to make sure that you never overpay when buying a home in Landfall, for example, or in Wrightsville Beach, etc. All right, let's start here with Wilmington. These are prices by quartile. These are list prices for Wilmington, North Carolina real estate. And the main point of showing you this slide is to show you that, look, this is the upper quartile price bracket. And there's a big difference here compared to there, it's going from 640 up towards 700. But look at that. The main thing I'm trying to show you is the difference in trends. The upper quartile is trending up, and it's significant. You also see in the upper second quartile a trend upwards. But when you get down to the median as well as the lower two quartiles, it's much more flat, although, yeah, still even with the green line in the lower third, it's still trending up slightly. For example, from 195 up to, that would probably be about 200. So all the quartiles except the very bottom are trending up in terms of list prices. But this just shows you that even within a market, there are unique trends, such as the top quartile having a different, experiencing a different market than the bottom quartile. They can each be their own separate real estate market with their own unique trends. So that's the main point I wanted to make for you there. But obviously, list prices are going up across the board. Next, for Wilmington, a couple quick observations. You see the red lines here. These are the average days on market. And if you go back for just this spring market, it's gone from 182 down to 133. Very amazing. You go back a year, it's 170 down to 133. So from 15 months ago, the days on market are down 14%, and 20% from a year ago. The days on market are down. So homes are selling much more quickly, and they are selling for 94%. See right here, 94% of list price right here. And that's 2% higher than a year or 15 months ago. So it's a solid market, but it's even more interesting than that. I'm calling this the spring 2012 boom, and it plays out, and it's come to an end, but it was very interesting. Here you look at the number of homes just for sale on the market. It's been trending down sharply. So inventory is down significantly. The solds right here, let's look at it month to month. There's fewer solds this month than last month, but month to month is almost irrelevant when looking at market trends. So here we go back a year, right here. There were 20% increase in transactions compared to a year ago. Compared to 15 months ago right here, there's 36% increase in transactions. So generally speaking, 30% more transactions were occurring this year than a year ago, which means people have come off the fence and they're buying homes much more than they have in previous years. The observation here is the number of homes under contract has dropped about 15%, the homes that are under contract. So I call it the summer slowdown has arrived. This is normal, especially for August. And there should also remain consistently fewer sales in the fall. That's the normal cycle of real estate. Moving on, prices rise in the spring for Wilmington. You can see here since March, prices have across the board gone up. And then in the fall, you have here November through December, prices tend to go down. That's sort of the annual cycle of real estate. So the question is now, how steady will prices hold in the fall and the winter? Are they going to go down again, or are they going to stay flat? Because usually there's dips. For the county as a whole, this year we went from 18 months of inventory down to 9 months of inventory. That's just an insane drop. We're talking, if you go back 15 months, 45% decrease in inventory. This includes Carolina Beach, Wrightsville Beach, Curia Beach, so in addition to Wilmington. In the fall, I'm assuming we'll see an increase in inventory. Here you can see last year the fall went from 15 months to 18 months, sort of a dip here. So really probably an average here, 15 to 17 months. So I would assume this year is going to go back up to 10 or 11 months in the fall. We'll see. That would be typical real estate. So as many of you know, I have a Landfall real estate blog and a Landfall channel on YouTube, and it's an amazing community. It won the Address of the Year nationally not that long ago. There are, I'm trying to remember some of the quick stats on it. I think it's 2,200 homes, a bunch of golf courses and tennis courts. It's just to die for a community, for a planned community, a gated community. That's not everyone's piece of pie, obviously. But it's special. Every 1/8 of a mile you have a pond to look at or a golf course to look at. It's a really neat neighborhood. There's a huge variety in Landfall as well. You have $400,000 houses, you have $4 million houses. And I've talked about some of those arenas before. You have to go back and look at previous videos where I get very detailed on what you find in Landfall. But let's compare Landfall as a niche community to the greater Wilmington area. Here we have, from a year ago, the number of homes that are under contract is up 50%. So a lot more homes are under contract in Landfall than a year ago. Same thing going back to 15 months right here. The number of homes under contract is 9 instead of just 6. And that's lasted several months. So that's the big observation here. There were a lot more transactions. Here, for example, compared to a year ago, you had 17 sales instead of 9 sales. 17 sales, 15 currently instead of 8 sales 15 months ago. So Landfall experienced a boom like the rest of the area. Now Landfall homes are selling about 92% of list price, as you can see here. It's been, that's about 1% to 2% higher than previous, but it's hanging there strong at 92%. The main thing to show you is that the days on market, they're a little bit higher than a year ago, which is interesting. In the middle of this boom, it's taking a little bit longer to sell homes in Landfall, and that sort of goes against the current. I don't really have an explanation for that. Landfall list prices, as you can see here, the blue line, they've been very flat, although I can see a little trend up here the last few months, but it had also just come down, so nothing exciting there. And then finally, the one thing that is interesting is huge decrease in inventory. Compared to 15 months ago, 60% drop. You can follow the red line there. So when you have 50% more transactions combined with 50% less inventory, you're going to keep your prices and home values locked in real solid. So it's a very healthy sign. The bottom of the market opportunity for Landfall was last year. This year it's holding strong and prices have been going up. So there you go. I hope this gives you a little perspective on the boom market we had in Wilmington here in the spring. Probably things will be a little more dull in the next coming months, although there remains a possibility in the fall of significant trends downward in pricing trends and an increase in days on the market, increase in inventory. All that is to be expected unless it is more extreme than expected. Or if that does not happen, that will be a huge indicator that, wow, we're at a whole different level now, and all the bases of data will start at a different base point higher than it was a year ago. That's if those trends do not happen, the annual cyclical trends. Hopefully I didn't mess up that communication. Look forward to learning more about your situation when you're ready to buy a home in the Wilmington area, and can't wait to show you homes in Landfall. Have a great day.